Hey y'all, before we jump into today's video, I quickly wanted to show you in Design Space how I created the offset and the design for my tumbler. So I'm going to go to images, and then in the search bar I'm just going to type in Girl Mama, which is what is going to be on my tumbler. This is the exact image that I'm using, so I'm just going to click it and then add it to my canvas. And for this specific design, what I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate it because I want the heart to not be attached to the Girl Mama decal at the top. So all I'm going to do is duplicate it, and then I'm going to go to contour. I'm going to click the first image and then click show all contours. And I'm just gonna take away the G and then leave the heart, and then I'm gonna do the opposite for the other one. All I'm gonna do is take away the heart because I just want the top portion of the decal. Now I'm going in and sizing my decals. For the heart I did 1.25 by 1.05, and for the Girl Mama I did 4.25 by 4.22 by 2.397, and this is going on a 20-ounce modern curved tumbler, so these measurements worked out perfect. Now to create our offset, I'm just going to go to the offset option here at the top, and I'm just sizing it to the size that I think would look good, and I ended up doing 0.069. And I like to make sure that I can see the offset with my decal, so all I do is just change the color. Now I'm going to select both and slice the image so that the back separates so that the offset separates from the decal, and that way whenever it cuts on your Cricut, it's going to cut them separately. And then I'm just going to go and do the same thing with my Girl Mama decal. And this is super easy. This is how I create it. So like I said, this is why I changed the colors so that they cut out separately. My offset is going to be this holographic pink, and my regular vinyl, which is going to create our offset, is going to be black. This is just the black is just cheap vinyl that I get on Amazon that I use to stencil my decals on my tumbler. And now I'm just going in and randomly placing the hearts all over my tumbler. There's no rhyme or reason as to how I'm doing it. I'm really just going in and hand placing them. Now that I've got all my decals on my tumbler, I'm going in with Apple Red by Rust-Oleum, and I'm spraying it all over my tumbler in short spurts so that I don't get any dripping or any pooling of the spray paint on my tumbler. And now I'm going in and removing that stencil or that vinyl that we used as a stencil. And I'm not gonna lie, I was having one of those days where this was just not cooperating, so I did finish it off camera to save you some time and some curse words. Anyways, so now I'm going in with about 25 mLs of epoxy, and as you can see, I poured in just a tiny bit, like a sprinkle of this Arteza mica powder. It's so pretty. And then I also put in a little sprinkle of Luxe glitter by Peachy Olive Glitters, just to give it some sparkle. I feel like it just needed to come back to life. It looked really dull. So this really gave it that oomph that I was looking for. And of course, all the products used in this video are going to be linked down in the description box. Now we're going in with our offset after we have let our coat of epoxy dry. We don't want to put our offset on top of our paint without a layer of epoxy in between, or else your paint is going to rip right up once you remove your transfer paper. So usually I do the hinge method, but today, like I said, I was having one of them days. I just wanted to complete this tumbler, and like I said, I'm just going in, and this time I'm hand placing my offsets. I find it easier than doing it with the transfer tape. I guess it's just personal preference, but this is just the way I did it. Here we are, very close and personal. I don't know why it's zoomed in like this, so just ignore that. Anyways, I'm going in with about 25 mLs of epoxy, and I'm just spreading that all over my tumbler, making sure all my glitter is laid down so that it's not like sticking up through my epoxy. And I did hit it up with a torch afterwards. Now I'm going in after my epoxy is dry with an 80 grit sanding block, just to make sure there is no like rough pieces on there. And when you go in on the bottom of your tumbler, you want to make sure not to go in too like hard with your sanding block, or you will like go right through your epoxy, because that's a thin part of the cup. And then I did go in and expose a thin layer of stainless steel up at the top. Now I'm going in with my leopard spots. I do have a previous video where I showed how I did the leopard spots, and I will make sure to link those in the description too. And I was showing the stencil because I always keep, like, whenever I do my leopard spots, the vinyl that I take off, just so I can use it as a stencil, like on my epoxy pens, or like just little crafts like that. So now I'm going in and hand placing my leopard spots all throughout my tumbler. So you'll see that after a while, this transfer tape was just being really ridiculous. So I did go in towards the end and started placing them, like hand placing them on the tumbler with my weeding tool, and honestly that was so much easier.
It's not a game, it's a rich thing.
Lastly, I'm going in with my fourth and final coat. I am using 30 mLs of epoxy. If I didn't mention it before, I do use a little extra epoxy, and I'll make sure to link their website down below. This epoxy is awesome. It gets my tumblers covered with minimal coats, and the shine is truly amazing. I mean, I've got nothing bad to say about it. I love it. And I did go in with my torch afterwards and pop all those micro bubbles that came up to the surface. Y'all, look how beautiful this came out. This epoxy truly is my favorite that I've ever used. It is so smooth, and look at that shine. There is not one bubble in sight. No, this is not sponsored. I really just love this epoxy. But I am obsessed. I love the holographic vinyl. This just turned out so pretty. If you all want to see more videos like this, make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. We post every Tuesday and Saturday, and I will see you next time. Bye, guys.